Button. Okay, so welcome to the HR Champions podcast. And for today's episode, we are joined by Miss Mau Narciso, who is the HR manager, HR head of branders.com. So thank you
Yes.
so much, Miss Mau, for joining us for today's episode. And we're really excited to have you
Thank you for the opportunity, Homer. It's really a pleasure to be invited.
here. Okay, so yeah, to start things, can you give us a quick introduction of yourself and a quick or a brief summary of your career in HR?
Okay. Okay, so let me start on a personal level. So I've been married with two kids.
Mm-hmm.
So I basically I love to engage or connect with people. So I believe that passion to connect or to communicate has been, evident since my growing years. So hence the passion in working in human resources, I must say it's ingrained in me. So I've been working in the human resource or as a human resource professional for almost 19 years, I must say.
Wow.
Solid HR experience. I
Mm-hmm.
started as an HR assistant in one of the biggest retail companies in our country. So from 2004 to current, I've been part of human resource. I mean, from human resource assistant to my current level as HR head or manager for branders.com. Um, yeah, I still believe that uh, even you had vast amount of experience, I'm a firm believer that you really have to have that passion to learn, discover new things, especially in our career or in our profession as HR. No, it's important that you have to learn and be flexible to uh to lift and shift if necessary. Like in our case, I was born in the era of 90s. Yan. So for me, I will not stuck dun sa era na what I have learned over the last 19 years or 18 years in HR. You have to make sure that the self-discovery and passion for learning and be able to share that dapat nandoon always.
Mm-hmm.
Yan.
Mm, thank you for sharing. So 19 years is no joke. Okay, ma'am. So talagang qualified ka for this HR Champions podcast that we have. Okay, sige. So thank you for that introduction. So my first question now is, so what inspired you, given what you've shared, the passion is there. So what inspired you to stay or to work in HR and to stay in HR?
Yeah, honestly, back in the days, and I wanna have a small, journey when I was still in college. No, I was
Mm-hmm.
torn either to take a nursing profession or a psych, a psychology
Ecology.
degree. No,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but the common denominator is I always want to nurture, or I wanted to connect with people. There's always that aspect on me. So when you if you are a graduate of psychology, I mean in sa mga kaedad ko, no, back then we don't have what do you call this? We don't have licensure exam pa. Kasi I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
recent lang naman yan eh. So you just have to choose either you wanted to pursue clinical, industrial, and educational. My initial uh uh I wanted to pursue initially the clinical setting. So I wanted to take care of patients, and ganyan. I want
Uh-huh.
to see myself like as I grad, pero nasa clinical setting. I'm
Mm-hmm.
fond of, helping people, etc. And then
Nice.
um the interest changes over time. And then I just realized that I'm not pala for a clinical or educational setting.
Mm-hmm.
So I landed the first job that I landed was as a human resource assistant. Sabihin ko na nga kung saan. I initially worked at SM. Okay?
Uh-huh.
SM. So, I worked in SM as an HR assistant.
Mhm.
And mind you, I handled labor relations. So, labor relations in a unionized company. I would say it's really tough and challenging for a neophyte like me. So, and I would say back in the days in like 2004, the technology in HR, I would say napakalayo pa. Hindi gaya ngayon.
Oh, yes, agree.
If you can recall Lotus Notes, I'm not sure kung nabutan
Oh,
mo yun.
Lotus,
Lotus,
yes. Lotus 1, 2, 3. Di ba?
I
Oh.
know. So that speaks my age, 'di ba? Sobrang tagal na. Ganun pa. Then you have to co-share pa the computer and all that stuff. So meaning to say, I grew up as an HR profession in a very challenging environment, and I am forever grateful. I would say being I mean working in a big company like my first employer, plus the traditional setup in human resource, we call it personnel pa nga nung time na yun eh. The human resource title is
Uh-huh.
still evolving, no? So from the very manual stuff to what practices we have, I would say na pagdaanan ko siya. Um, it's really inspiring kasi you would see people of different profile
Mhm.
from I would say rank and file na sobrang very humble, plus dealing with executives and dealing with lawyers and etc. Kasi in my profession as an HR assistant handling cases, my interaction would always be with lawyers, legal assistant, and union officers. Then, syempre,
Mhm.
boss ko, ikot-ikot lang yun.
Uh-huh.
So, initially, I wanted to give up. Uh, kasi ang hirap eh. The setup was really tiring. And then you're young. I would say I was just what, 19, 20. So
Mhm.
talagang literal, you have to deal with it day and night. And the cases back in the days are not simple. So it
Mhm.
would really toughen you. Plus our setup back then, no one wants to be routed or be assigned in labor relations. So, okay. Uh I remember we are around about six HR assistants. And each of us were given responsibilities. You should be doing recruitment, training, payroll, etc. And all of us are being assigned to do the rotation every now and then.
Mhm.
In my case, no one wants to be assigned in labor relations.
So
So I
you're
was
stuck
stuck.
there. Okay.
Yeah. But initially I don't like it. I don't appreciate, I hate dealing with cases. But
Mhm.
I remember my boss, my supervisor back then. I was really crying and I wanted to resign for the first time. I wanted to resign. Actually, I resigned twice. But then they they had to talk to me. Oh, you have to think it over. Um, I don't know. They don't. They didn't really ask me to stay like parang pinilit. No,
Mhm.
I can remember 20 years or 19 years ago, my supervisor told me, this is the heart of HR. Labor relations is the heart of HR. If you surpass this, everything else will just be like what? Parang feather on your shoulders lang. Kaya mo yan, etc., etc. So, you just have to start loving what you're doing. You're good at it. Sabi niya gano'n. So,
Mhm.
from the time na kinausap niya ako, naano ko siya, parang di ko makakalimutan yon. And then whenever I look back, it definitely paid off.
Hmm.
Yan. Ang dami
Nice,
ko
nice.
nasabi. I'm sorry.
Ang galing. But no, but that's really, really ano, you, di ba, there was a time that siguro it came to a point that you really want to quit, but there were people around you
Yeah.
that push you, di ba? But, and
Mm.
then eventually, talagang nagstay ka na sa HR, di ba?
Mm.
Yes, nice. Okay, thank you
There
for
was
sharing.
an attempt. There was an attempt for me to move to a different career path. Like my former school offered me for a guidance counselor role.
Mm.
Tanggap ako. Kaya lang when I accepted the role tapos day one, I felt that it's not for me eh. Parang I
Talaga?
can't. Oo, parang day one. Naiiyak
Mhm.
ako dun sa principal na teacher ko dati. Sabi niya, okay, you will be the counselor for elementary. So, okay, alam ko
Mhm.
naman, ano pa rin tao, para naman yun, you'll get to interact with people. Kaya lang kids, I came from a family of educators. So, di naman bago sa akin, mga sisters ko, teacher, have aunts na teacher and principal. Kaya lang, yeah, guidance counselor is also near to that, no, profession.
Mm,
Ang sabi ko,
mm.
okay, I would be dealing with, ganito. Parang di ko kaya. Sanay ako sa busy na maraming tao, iba-ibang
Mhm.
kausap, day and night.
Oo.
So, ayun, I decided to quit. Tapos sabi ko, I not really to quit. Parang I refuse the offer. Ang D1 pa
Mhm.
lang sa ko, oh, okay, I will just not pursue it. It's not for me. So, hence, I realized that I'm ready for HR. Yan.
Hmm, galing. So bumalik ka sa ano, sa SM?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I was actually contemplating on nagpasa na ako ng resignations, kinakausap ako ng boss ko. Tapos
Mhm.
hindi nila alam, may offer na talaga. Like, I have to start day one. Eh, sabi ko, okay, sige. Second time na yun, okay, sige. Hindi na ako aalis.
Ang galing-galing, memories. Okay, sige. Eto ma'am, my next question is, eto, what has been your biggest challenge as an HR leader? Kasi 'di ba when you're in HR, it's no ano naman eh, it's no question that you wear multiple hats, 'di ba?
Yeah.
Events organizer, ikaw yung you mentioned ikaw yung lawyer, ikaw yung investigator minsan, 'di ba? Those things that you have to wear differently or depende sa situation. That's how people perceive HR, 'di ba? So you wear different
Mm-hmm.
hats. So what has been your parang toughest challenge that you face? Siguro hindi lang sa SM on your career throughout on your
Yeah.
different companies. What has been your biggest challenge?
I would say, I'm not sure if you reviewed my career
I do.
experience.
I'm looking at it.
Okay. But you would be surprised. Bakit from an assistant she became a manager? I would have
Hmm.
to explain that to you. Okay.
Okay, sige.
So, medyo storytelling ng slide.
Sure, go
So,
ahead.
remember, back in the days, wala pang job street doon.
Mm.
Sobrang tanda ko na, I know, di ba?
Don't worry ma'am,
So,
tingin ko magkaano lang tayo eh. We're in the same age naman eh. So ano, don't worry.
okay. So, the way people or fresh grad applied for specific positions or yung walk-in talaga, like literally they have to go to job fairs or nagsasend ng CV, etc. So one time yung friend ko na, I mean yung aking colleague, naka-leave kaming dalawa, eh mas ahead
Mhm.
siya sa akin.
Mhm.
Ah, sabi niya, "Tara magpunta tayo ng Makati." Okay, sige ako naman, wala naman akong kaalam-alam sa gas, sige punta kami Makati. What we did was we distributed CVs, okay? So one of the offices that I remember, we went to a certain office in LKG Tower in Makati.
Hmm.
Tapos I
Along
didn't
Ayala
know,
Ave yan ah.
yes,
Oo.
napagpasahan pala namin is ano siya, para siyang headhunter. So ayun na, di ko naman alam, basta pirma-pirma lang. Di naman talaga ako seryoso kasi sinamahan ko lang siya mag-apply ng trabaho. Kasi nga, when you get bored, tapos single ka, wala ka namang ginagawa, sige, mag-apply lang kayo and all. So ako,
Okay.
I'm not serious, to cut it short. So, there was this one person who contacted me. Sabi niya, are you interested? Blah, blah, blah. Sabi ko, okay, dahil hindi naman ako seryoso, inattendan ko, wala mawawala, I still have my job, di ba? So, what happened was I was invited for an interview. It's also same industry, retail din siya. And then, truth be told, I was considered for the role. I was
Mhm.
offered with an HR supervisory role, initial.
Hmm.
Okay, siyempre ang saya ko from HR assistant, 'di ba, magiging supervisor ako. walang experience, 'di ba?
Mhm.
Okay, and then, uh, during the interview with the vice president, she offered me the role of an HR manager. Okay, sabi ko, "Are you serious, ma'am? I don't have the experience." So gano'n.
Mhm.
I am very new. I just started working like parang 3 years pa lang ako sa HR ta's you are offering me. It's
Tama.
a medium-sized company. And then sabi niya, "Yeah, for sure. We know that you can handle," parang ganyan, ganyan. Okay, but you will be supported by two consultants and the whole executive team. So I would say I'm only 23, 24 at the time. And the only experience that I have was with SM. But
Mhm.
I would say with that experience, doon sila naging interesado because they know how structured
Yeah.
SM is.
Mhm.
And SM is of course is one of the biggest companies here in the Philippines and
Mhm.
etc. So they bank on that. I would say I am grateful for that opportunity kasi it opened the doors for me. So being an HR manager with no or zero experience in handling the entire department, ah, it's really difficult kasi para kang nasa giyera, eh. Dinala ka sa war ng yes, you are armed with equipment and weapon, but, the experience is not there. Iba pa rin yung diskarte ng galawan ng may experience ka.
True.
But, I would say the difficult part during that time, you have to navigate through whatever, you've learned. Siguro yung natutunan mo dun yung nasa current role mo or sa work mo. And then wisdom from people around you or from your mentors. Plus of course for me it's very important that you have the support of your leaders.
Mhm.
Kasi madali na yon eh. If your bosses or your leaders, you have their buy-in, you have their 100% support, you can easily navigate through yung pag implement ng whatever projects that you wanted to spearhead. At
Yes.
the time, I worked with two consultants, isang lawyer tsaka isang seasoned HR consultant. And from there, I've learned literally a lot. From creation of handbooks, policies, etc. So the company really invested in me. Tapos syempre yung mga kasama ko sobrang seasoned sila, season operations manager, talagang
Mga
mata
veterans
may
na gano'n.
yes, very very seasoned and well respected. Ta's ako 'di ba, nandun lang ako
Mhm.
sa wings ng aking VP na of course they know, alam na lang nila na bakit ang bata ng HR manager natin. So I was only 23, 24 that tapos
Uh-huh.
ang nagpapa-implement ako ng kung ano-ano. It's difficult for me, but I'm thankful and grateful that I was able to surpass this. Yun nga, siyempre, at that time, wala akong basic knowledge how I manage a department. We're talking about end-to-end HR department.
Mhm.
Although back in SM, na-handle ko naman siya lahat, but I was an assistant. Iba yung may handle kang direct reports. You
Mhm.
are overseeing payroll, training and development, mind you, lahat ng HR facets, but so you are involved in a lot of things. But I with that, I realized na yeah, it's not about the title eh. You're an HR manager, but there are a lot of things that you still need to learn pa. So then I challenged myself. I wanted to go back to school. I pursued my master's degree. And I'm
Nice.
not afraid of trying na, okay, sige, eto na you had your stepping ground eh, you had the full support. Kaya lang, syempre, there are times na hindi sila maniniwala sa'yo, but hindi ka mapipikon dapat. People like, okay, you have the tendency na parang, okay, I have the full support, merong tendency na parang, kasi I'm the HR head, blah, 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 ganyan. Parang gusto mo lang mag-implement without really listening to your people or parang
Mm.
gusto mo ng 'pag may hiningi sila ang internal customers mo, for example, your leaders, your manager, et cetera. 'Pag hindi reasonable sa pandinig mo, you have the tendency to push back. Tas stubborn ka nun kasi feeling mo, ay, empowered ka and
Yes.
all. For
Mm.
me, hin hindi I would say na lagi akong aware na it's a training ground. You have to
Mhm.
understand the dynamics, the office politics, I must say.
Mhm.
And then you have to also uh you have to be brave and ask questions, ask for support, and be open na, oh, ma'am, I don't know this. I think we have to hire yung consultant, yung ganito, yung ganyan, we need to try and all. So for me, yon sa umpisa talaga napakahirap hanggang sa, you have to have to challenge yourself na kailangan ikaw mismo sa sarili mo, you need to do something. Mag-aral ka, magbasa ka, you have to expand your network. And therefore, I decided to leave and started, in a call center, one of the call centers here in the Philippines. I started there as an HR officer, which is, a supervisory role. Pero, malaki ang support ko naman. From 200, I've been supporting 3,000 employees. So,
Hmm.
I decided to leave. Okay lang, title, aanhin ko naman yung pagiging HR manager ng bata pa ako, marami pa akong matututunan. So, I
Mm.
decided to still challenge myself, aral ka, start start ka sa pagiging supervisor, and then your way up. Yun. The
Hmm.
challenges will always be there. People will not listen to you, will always challenge you. But at the end of the day, if you earn the respect, it's a matter of being consistent and being
Hmm.
a reliable HR partner. So at the end of the day, unti-unti mo makukuha yung respect and yung trust ng employees and ng partners or ng internal customers.
Mm. Yes. I have to agree with you yung sa sinabi mo kanina that it's really important for you to have the support and the buy-ins of your leaders if you want to roll out
Yes.
something, di ba? But I think it's also important to like with what you shared kanina, di ba? May pushback eh. And then you feel
Mm.
parang you're being attacked. Siguro ay
Yeah.
tingin ko dala na rin yun siguro at your age during that time. Parang
Mm.
ang tingin mo it's against you, they're taking that against you, but in reality they want to support you in that way to criticize what you're trying to prove, di ba? So I think that's there should be a balance talaga. And I think hindi naman kita masisisi if you're really that young na talagang you really that this idea, di ba? You have this parang enthusiasm to really implement something na tingin mo will improve yung processes within the company, di ba? And then you meet yung mga elders, talagang yung mga veterans, 'di ba? So I feel you on that part. Tapos yung sinabi mo rin kanina, it's a constant learning process, 'di ba? So
Mm.
I have to agree on that. Okay, ang galing. Pangatlong questions ko pa lang yata yun ah. Dahil mo nang na-share, ang galing, galing. Okay, sige. On my third question, what changes or significant changes have you seen in the field of HR in your career? For example, kasi yung mga previous guests ko, ang pinaka-ano nila is the the technology. So
Yes, I would agree.
HR, 'di ba? So recruitment, you were sharing kanina yung mga walk-ins.
Mm.
Recruitment, doing interviews. So in your experience, what significant like changes na talagang really made your life easier in HR?
I would have to agree. Still, it's technology. For me, number one, it's the technology transformation.
Mhm.
Kasi I still work. I remember working in an era na Lotus Notes, tapos the printer is dot matrix. Ganon kaluma, di ba?
Alam mo yung word star?
I know. Ganon, di ba? And then,
Oo.
wala pa nung mga Oracle Suite, HRIS, yung pa wala pa.
HRIS,
So,
oo, wala pa, 'di ba?
yes, everything is manual. So, I think in HR, over the last 18, 19 years, I mean, from me working in a different setting or industry, I would say technology transformation has played a pivotal role in HR. No, so as HR, especially sa Philippines, so we still have to make sure that we have uh, we are in the sense na hindi tayo nalalayo, nahuhuli sa trends,
Hmm,
no, which would make our processes in HR mas streamlined, mas efficient, mas seamless. So for me, technological transformation is still the first. Data driven pa din tayo, no, I would say. This it's actually the uh the major transformation in Asia. Plus, it would still be the future.
hmm,
Kasi your executives would highly rely on you sa HR, I would say. Kasi, for example, yung CEO mo would plan 5 to 10 years, may planning na mangyayari. Tapos, ang data mo kalat-kalat. Or
mhm.
worse, hindi pa talaga
Organize,
solid or
'di ba?
hindi organized or hindi structured. How can you then be a reliable HR na sa data pa lang hindi ka organized, no? Walang structure. So for me, the rise of data analytics has allowed us to uh, help our company or our organizations to make decisions on the spot. Parang not necessarily on the spot. You have the data, they have the numbers, attrition, for example, meron kang technology, you have the means to
Mhm,
draw the data from your HRIS or whatever systems that you have, and then that's well kept, you'll be able to support your organization. And from there, they can draw their decision. Mag-expand ba? Are we going to invest on people? Are we going to uh say, for example, to acquire or do the merger, etc.
mhm,
So for me, technology transformation, I've seen it really expanded. Data driven pa rin tayo. The remote and work from home, remote work arrangement and hybrid. Dati
hmm,
wala yan eh. But
mhm.
COVID-19 has, pushed us to do the impossible. So I would say the pandemic accelerated the adoption of the work from home setup. HR by force had to quickly adapt to managing remote teams,
Yes.
maintaining the employee engagement, and we ensure that the data security in virtual work environments is still robust. Ano? In my case, in my current company, we are 100% work from home. But you would say, eh, bakit
Hmm,
nagre-report sa office? Kasi
mhm,
kami sa HR, there are um say sa support departments or functions like IT, accounting, and HR. From time to time, we need to go to the office to check the site, and then if there are employee engagements na pwede namin gawing on-site. But the rest of the workforce are working from home. I would
mhm.
say the evolution of work from home or of having flexible work arrangements has really no changed the landscape of the workforce, such as in HR. Sa HR ang challenge natin is how can you make sure that the people are productive at the same time engaged virtual
Yes.
eh. So
Yes.
for me, I would say technology, data, analytics, work from home or hybrid arrangement, ganyan. Diversity and inclusion, there's a growing emphasis on that eh.
Mhm,
Before wala naman yan. People would always say na, outing, company outing, and walang essence, no? Now, the diversity uh, and inclusion, yung DIB efforts natin as a company, importante siya. Plus, in the workplace, the employees that you have are combination of different generations. You have the millennials, you have the Gen Zs, you have the ano ba yung era ng mga 1980s, et cetera. Plus,
Uh-huh.
hindi ka pupuwede na mag-i-stick ka lang sa kung anong
Yes.
era ka.
Mhm. Agree.
I'm not used to I'm not really a fan of TikTok, pero sabi ko, okay, kailangan makakasabay ka eh. Kasi bakit? You have employees who are into TikTok. So, I would say, I'll give an example. Meron kaming recent Great Place to Work certification.
Hmm.
And one of the parang highlights naman, sige magpa-game tayo, magpaano tayo ng TikTok dyan. So, syempre, yung mga employee na mahilig sa TikTok,
Game na
na-appreciate
game.
nila. Yes. But if you are not into that, parang di mo try na i-learn din. Yung hindi ka makakasabay sa profile ng ganong edad. Plus, we
Mhm.
have yung Generation Alpha, wala pa yan sa workplace. But sila yung mas laging nakatutok sa cellphone, talagang naka-dependent sa technology. I would say, as an HR, we need to embrace the changes also in diversity and inclusion. Even the
Mm.
mobile games, mind you, nandoon na rin siya, kailangan na rin siya.
Yes.
Okay, talaga nag-evolve. And
Mhm.
for me, the emphasis on the mental health or the overall employee well-being has become a central concern. Before kasi lalo sa Pilipinas, so parang the mental health issues or initiatives are parang ang off pag-usapan. Sa
Mhm.
atin ngayon, I would say sa mga HR practitioners like me, we also encourage our companies to uh, put premium on employees' total well-being. So the HR leaders like me have to make sure that we implement well-being programs that would support mental health, that would create a safer space for our employees. Kahit sabihin mo, like in our case, we're doing hybrid or we're doing work remote. So still, the employee well-being is important. Plus, of course, the ever-evolving HR compliance and regulation. So, you know, basically a lot. You're on mute.
So let me cut you, So
Uh,
we still have 3 minutes. In case makat, which I know makakat talaga, let's jump into the same link, ha? Okay. Sige. So you were ano lang, I can relate dun sa sinabi mo on the changes of HR being data driven when it comes to decision making. Kasi 'di ba traditionally or before, si HR ang role lang talaga niyan mag-hire, then mag-fire, mag-keep
mm,
mag-keep ng 201 files, 'di ba? But as
mm,
as as technology evolves and but almost siguro all the processes evolve, naging vital na sa decision making si HR when it comes to management.
mm,
Kailangan na talaga ng say ni HR. So you were mentioning kanina about
mm, mm,
attrition, 'di ba?
mhm,
Attrition.
mm,
So, paano malalaman ni management what's the reason behind the attrition? So, knowing that for the on the management side, once may paliwanag ng maigi ni HR. So, this is the data, di ba? Supported by data. So, that's very important for the management to come up with decisions and to
yeah.
di ba? And to agree with kung ano man yung gustong i-implement na program ni HR to mitigate or to somehow minimize the impact of those things, di ba? So that's I think
Mhm.
one of the changes talaga. And when it comes to technology, 'di ba before ang mga team building talaga dapat present kayo. Pero
Yes.
pagdating ng pandemic, online na, 'di ba?
Yes.
At ako at first it was exciting eh. Talaga no height of the pandemic, exciting yung virtual. But it came to a point na parang nakakasawa na yung virtual. Laging camera
Yes.
na, 'di ba? And there are things talaga na hindi kayang gawin ng online that you have to do in physically, 'di ba? May mga bagay talaga na
Oo.
hindi kayang ni-replace ni online. Galing. And then yung diversity and inclusion, very ano talaga, very,
Yes.
very timely. Especially, siguro lahat ng clients ko, ano na eh, they, 'di ba? It's a very parang sensitive topic now when it comes to gender, 'di ba? Pero before hindi siya topic eh, 'di ba? I think that's part of the
Mm.
evolution talaga ng workforce ng ano here really here dito rin sa Philippines. So iba-iba yung generation, iba-iba yung era. So HR have to adapt, 'di ba? Talagang nandun pa rin yung mga Gen Zs or nandun pa rin yung mga let's say late boomers. Then nandito pa rin yung mga then come the millennials. 'Di ba? So
Mm-hmm.
you really have to adapt to the changes to keep them involved, to keep them
Yes.
engaged when it comes to work. Ayun, galing. Very rich. Okay, so my next question is, so ever since COVID, have you seen, parang nasagot na to. Anyway, again. Okay, so going back on my question, Ms. Mel, so what changes have you seen? Nadaan na natin to ng konti kanina on the last question. Um, what changes have you seen in when it comes naman to motivating and keeping employees engaged
Sorry.
on that's happening to different companies. So when it comes to employee engagement and motivation, kanina 'di ba na ano natin, when it comes to team building, when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
rewarding employees. So traditional ways
Mm-hmm.
are still here, 'di ba? Nandun pa rin naman 'yun eh. But sa
Yeah.
tingin mo
Mm-hmm.
ano yung changes that do you think made it more effective to keep employees motivated and engaged?
Um, so since we are the workforce that we have, I mean, I would say even other companies would agree or other HR practitioners would agree with me. Kasi combination na tayo ng iba't ibang talent eh. I mean, different eras na, no? So, I would say, especially the setup right now, there are companies that are still working from home or working on site fully operational na on site na, 'di ba? And
Mhm.
since the pandemic hit us in 2020, nagkaroon tayo ng opportunity to prove that the work from home setup is effective. And
Mhm.
it's also a great way to, be for further companies or for HR professionals to be creative, not in the sense that everything is tied up to cost. Like, for example, you can have your happy hour or your employee touch base by just simply creating a Zoom link, or uh like you have to spend 15-20 minutes na catching up with people
Mhm.
through a virtual environment, ganyan, 'di ba? So before walang gano'n eh, maghihintay ka pa ng everyone has to be available, dapat nasa meeting room kayo, tas whenever they are distracted, may nagtatrabaho sa laptop pa rin eh. Pahirapan pang i-pull out yung mga employees versus
Mhm.
dun sa maglo-login lang sila, they would walang madi-distract na operate na trabaho because meron nakaalat at meron ka nang na-build na mga ganung habits that people still needs to connect virtually. By all means, kamustahan, nagkakaroon ng gano'n. Naging creative ang companies, especially yung HR, to support yung ganong initiatives, di ba?
Mhm.
Changes, I would say, um, iba-iba na kasi din ngayon ang motivations ng empleyado eh. Some employees are not literally or not just motivated by pay.
Agree.
They look into for me, I would say nagma-matter yung setup eh. I would say pag nag-i-interview kami, ang unang tanong, would that be a work from home 100% or a hybrid or on-site? Before, magma-matter lang base pay, uh, salary or allowances. Ngayon, hindi.
Mhm.
Benefits, and hindi lang basta benefits, yung work environment, di ba? Yung setup mismo. Nagma-matter siya. Or wala naman yun. And then, the gender equality is also, ano na rin siya, it's acceptable or ini-embrace na rin natin siya. There are, I would say, there are companies na even the benefits are expanded or I would say extended to the partners or yung common law partners, or I would say even yung mga partners ng ating mga colleagues na part ng LGBTQ. community.
Mhm.
So, before walang gano'n. So, ngayon nagkaroon tayo ng changes pagdating sa paano magkaroon ng ma-entice ng empleyado sa part ng benefits, employee engagement in terms of having a strong BIB presence. I would say, uh, of course, the salary structure, it's important. But
Mhm.
career path uh, also plays an integral role if you wanted to keep your high valued employees. Hindi pa
Yes.
pwedeng you just reward them with the increases na wala namang wala kang development plan na kasama.
Mhm.
So, hindi ka lang basta nagre-reward, you have purpose. Either you send them to school,
Mm, that's
or
great.
you invest on people, you created as a I would say a clear career path or development program for them, and then ask them to lead on projects. Mga ganyan, hindi lang tipong, okay, ready now, promote na kita. Hindi lahat na empleyado makukuha mo sa ganun.
Mhm.
Plus, even the leadership style. Before kasi, we have this notion na boss. Diba? Boss. Now kasi hindi ganon. You have to be a servant leader.
Mhm.
Even the leaders themselves, they need to relearn how to manage their people, especially sa work from home setup. Ang hirap yan. How
Mhm.
can you even confirm if the person is productive or not? Di mo naman nakakasama eh.
Mhm.
So, it's important that there is a high level of trust and confidence. And you as a leader, without your physical presence, your employee has, yung trust nila sa'yo nandoon. Whether
Mhm.
you're looking at you're monitoring them or not, nandun yung respect nila. I will be dead kapag ginawa ko to, or I would something would be penalized, or kapag hindi ko to sinunod or whatever. With or without you literally monitoring on them. So kailangan, I remember I have this coaching with one of our supervisors. Sabi ko, you have to treat them like kids. Hindi pa pwede na yung isa, kala mo okay lang sa kanya na pinapagalitan mo siya. You have to have
Mhm.
a different parenting styles.
Mhm.
So, hindi porket sa tingin mo, okay na siya, di siya nagsasalita, okay na lang ganun. Yung connection, you have to build it every day. You check on them, kung may GP kayo, group chat sa MS Teams or sa Office Outlook. You also have to have a creative way of checking on your people. Pwedeng you meet with them once a month. Pwedeng tawagan mo. Iba-iba ang language of the mga empleyado. So as a leader, kailangan marunong din tayo makinig. Na hindi yung, alam ko na yan. Kasi manager ako, supervisor. No. Sometimes mas may alam ang tao mo sa'yo. Importante na nakikinig ka.
Yes.
It's important na we need to relearn how to manage our team, our people, kasi doon ka makakakuha ng you will be more efficient in, you know, um, involving them. And then in terms of discipline, I would say, sa setup natin na ganito na iba-iba, hindi magma-matter ang employee discipline as it is. Paano mo naman bibigyan ng disciplinary action yan na late na clock in nag-work from home? You really have to custom fit the employee handbook na hindi ka magiging very lenient. Totoo ka lang, mamamanage mo ba? Seriously? Every segundo na malate? There are a lot of ways to make sure that your employee is well engaged, highly productive. At the same time, I was telling my team, dapat ini-involve niyo sila eh. Yung pagka meron silang care, hindi nila isasabotage yung performance. Versus dun sa, you do this, you do that. Yun, talagang parang taking orders lang versus sa what are your thoughts, how can you contribute. If they feel the sense of belongingness, may responsibility sila, nandoon yung malasakit, nandoon yung care talaga sa trabaho. Mas madali ang trabaho mo as a manager. Kasi hindi lang ikaw yung may malasakit sa team eh. Diba? Pare-parehas kayo. And that's what happened sa amin, sa company namin. Our employees were able to prove that we're capable of working from home. Hence, it became a permanent setup for us.
Hmm. Nice, nice. If I may add lang, kasi ito shinare din sa akin ng one of our guests. It's really important for leaders not not only to relearn but also to unlearn old habits na hindi na
Yes,
nag-work ngayon,
agree.
di ba? So you have to, or
Yes,
if you're going to
totoo.
unlearn, then replace it with something new that will actually work
Mm,
with your team. Di ba? Hindi na,
mm,
especially when it comes to, you mentioned kanina, or you work from home. We are also work from home. But
mm.
yung company namin made sure na hindi kami, yung term is pinupolice if you're familiar with that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Di ba? Hindi na siya
Mm,
macromanagement. So you have to allow your teammates or your employees to let them work at their own pace as long as yung results is nandun. So
yes.
minsan kasi it's immaterial na yung where you are doing work as long as you're delivering results. Di ba?
Mm-hmm.
Galing, galing. So that's one of the things that I really learned talking to people to HR like you. Galing. So talagang ganun na yung naging evolution of of working style or siguro management style, di ba? Talagang kailangan mag-adapt na sa changes. Okay.
Yeah.
Tapos I was about to say something kanina about motivation and engagement. So teka, nawala yung tanong ko ah. I was thinking yung ano ma'am, um, since naka-work from home na kayo. Anyway, just curious, ilan ba yung headcount ng branders? As of now?
Uh, uh, Actually, dito sa Philippines, we're around 220.
Mhm.
Pero sa US kasi marami kami. So, we have employees in the US as well. So, we, uh, around 1,000 plus din kami, actually.
So yung 220, that's all work from home.
Mm-hmm.
Ang galing.
Um, Meron siguro mangilan-ngilan, like from time to time, they need to be in the office. But well, almost 98% is really working from home.
Hmm. Okay. Yung office niyo is in Pasig? Tama ba?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Sige. Ito ma'am, na-skip ko tong question na to. As an HR leader, how do you set your goals?
Um, Ano ba, long term or short term? Depende, di
Both.
ba?
Sige.
Hmm. Of course, it's important that we are structured and strategic, no? So, for me, it's important that you understand para saan. You
Mm.
have to set your objectives, and then the objectives that you will set would have to support both the organization as a whole and of course welfare na employees, diba? So for me it's important that you know your purpose or objectives that is tied up to the organizational plan and objectives as well. So dapat palaging it goes hand in hand eh. Di pa
Mm.
pwedeng may nagsasariling mundo si HR. Tapos, di ba, iba rin ang gusto gawin ng org. So, it really goes
Yes.
hand in hand. And
Alignment.
then, alignment of definitely, you have to evaluate the current state or the situation. That includes review of the metrics. For me, you go back to your objective, and then whatever objectives you have, then you assess your HR, your department per se. Ano yung meron sa facets mo? What's working, what's not working? In all facets yan, from turnover rates to employee engagement to talent acquisition effectiveness, all HR metrics that needs to be identified, yung mga may areas of opportunity and where you can facet where you can also invest on your people's growth, diba? And then you consult, definitely, for me, it's important that you consult with your stakeholders and leadership. Importante
Mhm.
yun eh. You have your goals, you have your objectives, you have your current situation. Na-identify mo na, dapat for this year, importante, mag-invest tayo sa training and development. Pero hindi mo makukuha yung buy-in ng leaders mo. So, mahirap din yun, di ba?
Mhm.
Did I just went on mute?
Yes,
Can you hear me? Okay.
yeah.
All right. So you consult your leaders and stakeholders. Importante you're aligned. You're aligned with them. So they have to understand and they need to see the HR as their valued partners, valued and reliable partners. So for example, HMO planning na lang. Kapag wala kang forecast ng headcount na mag-e-expand pa next year, tapos hindi mo nasabihan yung CEO mo, uy, naku, lagot ka doon kasi hindi ka nag-request ng malaking budget or hindi mo na-align yung budget mo. Simpleng ganun lang yun. So you really have to involve your leadership team and stakeholders.
Mhm.
Always check with them what's working and what's not working. And then for me, it's important that these targets are smart. You
Yes.
ask your team, kaya ba? Di ba kaya? Ano ba yung pwede nating i-postpone or time sensitive? It should be quantifiable. Laging may numbers yan. Numbers driven pa rin ng HR.
Mhm.
And you have to make sure that communication is crystal clear. How you communicate with your leaders, your employees, your stakeholders, it's important. Then it definitely it's important that you track each progress. So ang galing mo nga sa simula tapos hindi mo naman na track, 'di ba? So wala din. So
Mhm.
employee surveys for me, it's important. You check on your people from time to time. And then from employee surveys, you can draw kung ano ang initiatives na pwede pa, what's working, what's not working. And then you would see, kaya ba within a specific timeline, ganyan. For me,
Mhm.
it's important that you have a structure, you have a plan, and be able to check with other people, with your colleagues, with definitely with people around you. You have to be open to getting feedback. Kasi importante 'yun eh. Minsan naman may mga feedback na hindi rin realistic or hindi tama. Parang
Mhm.
alam mo din siya dapat i-balance eh.
Mhm.
So for me, the only way to check if you are really successful in what you do, you check with the people around you and be open to, understand saan pa kulang, meron ba tayo dapat i-adjust or whatever. And then make sure that everything is quantifiable. Meron ka pa ring basis. Budget, for example, how can you even request for budget kung wala ka talagang purpose sa pag ano ng budget, saan mo
Mhm.
gagamitin, then ano ang objective, 'di ba? And then hindi din pa pwedeng maglagay ka lang ng training ng kung saan-saan. Hindi mo lang din ina-assess, kailangan ba? So for me, importante na may structure and may follow through. And
Mhm.
syempre, may support ng employees and your leaders.
Nice, okay. I remember yung
Mm-hmm.
SMART, 'di ba? That's the acronym for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and then time-bound. Tama ba?
Yes,
Yun
yes,
yun
yes,
yung
yes.
remember ko. Nice, nice. Thank you for mentioning that. And I think it's really important to have really a structure and a follow-through.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, talagang kailangan mo ring i-involve. 'Di ba? Hindi lang ikaw yung magde-decide. You really have to get the insights and inputs of people around you. 'Di ba? That's
Yes.
really important. Galing, galing. So, eto, Mau, my next question is, let's discuss about attrition. Before ba you're doing exit interviews?
Yes, yes.
Ah,
I
okay,
still
sige.
do.
Okay. Okay.
Pero Depende sa, well, my team does that, but
Mhm,
whenever I have the data with me, no, so when we present that to our leaders, so syempre kailangan natin makita what went wrong, sa
mhm.
ano bang kailangan nating i-improve pa, or saan lang focus areas.
Yes, right.
So yeah, I have
Mm,
visibility on exit interviews as well.
okey.
Data, I mean, yeah.
Okay, sige. So since visible yung ano sa'yo na yung numbers sa'yo when it comes to attrition, what do you think is like the primary reason why of course they have their reasons naman, 'di ba? But
Mm-hmm.
may mga nag-ano rin kasi sa'kin na minsan or most of the time, those are surface reasons lang, eh. There's something deeper
Yes.
why they leave. So what's your thoughts on that?
I would say, ang pinaka, like, sa amin, our employees are very tenured.
Mhm.
Uh, I would say 15, 10 years, 5 years.
Wow,
Yan ang mga,
galing,
ano
ah.
ng, tenure ng employees namin.
So, yung
So
attrition
the
niyo siguro
ones,
single digit lang 'no?
yes, sobrang baba.
Nice. Galing, galing.
I would say, importante talaga na happy sila eh. The work-life balance, yung work-life balance kasi malaking issue yan eh. Parang kala natin, ano lang yan, bigyan mo lang sila ng leave, palakihin mo lang yung sweldo. No. When you say work-life balance, I would define it in our current environment. Sa nakikita ko sa amin, sa mga empleyado namin. Um, an employee would likely stay in a company, obviously for various reasons. But if the environment, the work environment per se, is a safe environment for them to stay, meaning to say, they felt that they are valued, they felt that they are being taken care of, even their families, I would say, syempre kailangan kasama yun. Yung loyalty, it would naturally, parang would come out. Um, ano ba ang safe environment? They can speak to their leaders without being parang intimidated. Na
Hmm,
parang yung makakaramdam sila, natatakot ako magsabi. I think importante sa company, sa organization, na you have the open door policy pero hindi siya subject to abuse. I mean, the employee, they can reach out to their managers, to their supervisors without being parang yung feeling na tinataboy sila. Kasi yun ang nakikita ko sa amin. They are very, very vocal pagka may hindi sila na-appreciate. And mind you, these are graphic artists, contact center agents, web designers. They are diverse group of employees. Hindi sila mga lang, parang pare-parehas ng profile. And um malalim yung relationship kasi nakikita nila pinapakinggan sila. Importante yun eh. You felt valued. Meaning to say, you take care of the basic and minimum requirements. Paano? Hindi sila nagkakaroon ng payroll dispute, ang kanilang benefits are being processed on time. At the bare minimum, you have employee engagement. If you created a safe space wherein they know nakakasweldo sila ng tama, nakakausap nilang supervisor or manager nila kung kailangan, they have enough space to grow, learn new things, automatic mag-i-stay yan. Plus, yung ginagawa nila day in, day out, natututunan naman nila, nagugustuhan nila yun. I mean, basta safe environment, hindi yan talaga magre-resign. So, ano naman nangyayari doon sa mga nag-resign? Yung iba, syempre, they wanted to grow. And ang problema sa mga flat companies or very limited lang opportunities, sobrang hindi ka, yun nga, yung career growth mo magiging stagnant. But na lang yun, hindi yun yung major reason kung ba't nagre-resign. For me, yung yung work environment is not safe.
Hmm.
Kasi kung every day in, day out, they felt the pressure of talking to their peers, talking to their managers, syempre ang motivation yan bababa.
Yes.
Maghahanap na lang yan ng trabaho. So, yeah, if we can create a safe environment for our employees, then the attrition will be addressed. Or holistic siya. For me, it's holistic.
Hmm. Nice. I can relate to that. Kasi marami ako nababasa, it's tawag dito, psychological safety, right? 'Di ba?
Mm-hmm.
Kasi halimbawa, if someone like a newbie, 'di ba? Tapos he asks something na hindi niya alam. There are managers na parang nagpa-power trip, 'di ba? And then
Yes, oo.
you make that employee feel dumb na next time hindi na yun
Mm-hmm.
magtatanong. So, 'di ba? So that's a sign of
Mm-hmm.
not so safe workplace. So, 'di ba? So it's really important like what you said, talagang kailangan it's an open door but again, 'di ba, hindi siya ano for abuse. It's really important for
Yes.
to work in a place wherein you can speak your mind, 'di ba? You
Mm-hmm.
can share your ideas without feeling yun nga, na hindi ka parang tanga, parang gano'n yun. Kasi 'di ba, there are managers
Mm-hmm.
na talagang ano, magtatanong ka lang kasi since you're a newbie, you don't know things, 'di ba? You're still learning the ropes. And
Mm-hmm.
to those managers who answers or who guide their teammates, their employees without making them feel dumb. So I think it's really
Mm-hmm.
one factor talaga that will make that employee stay. Na kasi, safe ako dito. I can speak my mind, di ba? I can talk to
Yes.
my supervisor. I can talk to them or about siguro kahit hindi lang about work related, about yung personal life niya siguro. Kung
Mm-hmm.
ganun ka-safe yung work environment, it's really hard for that employee to decide to leave, eh, 'di ba? To leave for
Yes,
somewhere
yes.
else. Galing, galing. Okay, so, um, may isa pa akong question, nakalimutan ko na naman. Kasi may QK din ako, eh, about dun sa questions na inano ko sa'yo, sinend ko sa'yo. Um, my question was, ano ba 'to? For HR people or for those sa tingin mo ano yung quality quality of someone na talagang if you want to venture into HR, 'di ba? Especially for siguro let's ano din for our audience, to our younger listeners out there
Mm-hmm.
who really want to venture or really want to dive in the world of HR. So what would be your tips or advice that you could offer to them?
Sa mga newbies ba to? Or
Uh,
uh,
because if
not necessarily.
sige in general kasi part of our audience is yung HR ano eh, HR people, siguro mga graduating students who really want to dive in
Yeah.
HR, to put into practice, 'di ba? Into HR.
Mm-hmm.
So, siyempre excited diyan and enthusiastic and everything with all the ideals,
Mm-hmm.
'di ba? So,
Mm-hmm.
what's your best tips that you could give to them?
Yeah, okay, thank you. For me, it's really important that ano, very important that you have the passion to connect with people, I would say. Kasi kapag hindi ka mahilig, hindi, this is not just for extrovert, ano. I'm not
Hmm.
even an extrovert. I would say combination ako ng pagiging introvert and extrovert, no. But if you wanted to pursue a career in HR, your passion to connect with people, regardless of age, position, and what have you, it really has to be there. Kasi, um, kailangan interesado ka na makipag-connect sa kanila, makinig, spend time.
Mhm.
You have to understand their needs. Regardless kung anong empleyado yan. Kasi even the executives, they have their own mood swings. They
Mhm.
have their own worries. And as an HR, sa'yo yan eh. Sa'yo, even your CEO, sa ikaw ang reliable partner yan pag stressful sa metric or stressful sa pag-hire. As HR, importante wala kang biases. Ano ka, neutral
Yes.
ground ka palagi.
Mhm.
And and if you have that passion to connect with people, nandoon yung interest na ay gusto mong makilala, gusto mong malaman paano mo mapapakipagayan, paano ka makakapag-build ng relationship.
Mhm.
And number one dyan is that you should be um trustworthy din, no? You have the integrity. Yung kumbaga parang sa simpleng bagay mapagkakatiwalaan ka. Kasi
Mhm.
importante yun sa HR, number one yan eh. Like, I don't know, yung communication skills, yung business acumen, problem solving skills, matututunan yan over time. But if you don't have the real passion to be interested in engaging with people of different personalities, lahat na, mahihirapan ka. Kasi from very low and humble profile up to doon sa mga employees na nagpa-power trip. Dapat yon alam mong pakibagayan, alam mong i-handle without losing your professionalism, losing your control, losing your sense of logic and being objective at all times. And it matters if you have sense of humor. Hindi pa
Hmm.
pwedeng bato ka sa HR.
Yes.
Kasi
'Di ba? Agree,
shock
agree.
absorber ka ng shock
Oo.
absorber ka ng lahat eh.
Kasi yung
Lahat ng, 'di
no,
ba? Lahat
I was
ng
thinking
problema.
yung humor that breaks tension eh. 'Di ba? So it's
Yes.
really important.
It's important. I would not naman always say in a more parang formal and all, 'di ba? Kailangan sa HR marunong kang tumawa. Tatawanan mo lang.
Hmm.
I mean, you have to you have to find your balance in between. Kasi exposed ka saan? Sa problema ng lahat ng empleyado. Kaso, budget season, di ba? Dahil mo iniisip. Tapos yung
Mhm.
approvals and all. May ipapacify ka pa ng mga issues and all. So, dapat, ano ka eh, uh, you need to find humor and you need to find positivity in what you do.
Yes.
Kasi kalaban natin dyan yung mental health, di ba? Yung parang imagine mo nagko-confide sa'yo, tapos ikaw yung unang iiyak. So, dapat talaga, strong-willed, strong character, and
Mhm.
of course, always have to be professional. Di mo kailangan sugaw, di mo kailangan magalit, and people would see you as a reliable partner. Natural matatakot yan. Kahit sabihin mo na very jolly ka, very people person ka, they always have this stigma na, ay, HR yan. Natural yun eh. Natural yung respeto nila sa atin. Pero being an HR professional, it's important that you are the first person to reach out to people. You don't expect people to reach out to you. That's not going to happen. For me, it's important that you have this mindset of being a servant leader. The true
Mhm.
passion to connect with people, it has to be ingrained in you somewhere. And it's important that you find positivity in what you do. You have to
Mhm.
embrace,
Yes.
kailangan light lang, positive, kasi mahirap na yung trabaho natin, papahirapan pa ba natin? Yun.
Yes. Very well said, Miss Mel. Thank you so much. Sige, Miss Mel, if there are people who wants to connect with you or to network with you, what's the best way?
I'm active in LinkedIn naman, so they can add me. Uh, I always have time to check my LinkedIn profile, no.
Mhm.
So, even vendors like providers, pagka ayan, may mga hiring kami or they wanted to extend their services, ako naman, I always find time to to connect with people. And I'm also active in the HR network. So recently,
Hmm.
I've attended the PHHR summit.
Uh-huh.
It's a good way to also meet new people din sa ating network sa HR. So um, they can just connect with me through LinkedIn.
Hmm.
I'm
Okay.
always available naman.
Okay. This has been like a really one of the few episodes na talagang I really engaged in. Thank you so much, Miss Mao. I really learned a lot and I'm sure yung mga audience and listeners natin, I think marami rin silang matututunan. So, this has been your HR Champions podcast. See you on our next episode.
Thank you, Homer.
Stop ko lang mami recording ha. Wait lang.
Okay.